In this video, I'll be talking about the research I did on the community of female undergraduates in the computer science program and those that are planning to get into the major in the University of Washington, Seattle. By studying this group, I was hoping to better understand what factors affect female students' choice of CS as a major at an undergraduate level. Hence, the aim of this project was to understand why these women chose computer science and what factors affected their decision before and after entering college to pursue computer science or stay in the major. I'm interested in creating more awareness of an ongoing declination in the number of females in the computer science field in comparison to other fields. A lot of statistical data analysis has been done to find out the reason for this phenomenon. According to the National Science Foundation, modern computer science is dominated by men. But it hasn't always been this way. A lot of computing pioneers, the people who programmed the first digital computers, were women, like Ada Lovelace, often regarded as the first computer programmer, and Grace Hopper, the first person to create a compiler for a programming language and one of the first programmers of the Mark I computer, an electromechanical computer based on analytic engine. And for decades, the number of women studying computer science was growing faster than the number of men. But in 1984, something changed. The percentage of women in computer science flattened and then plunged, even as the share of women in other technical and professional fields kept rising. What happened? The Foundation spent the past few weeks trying to answer this question, but there's no clear single answer. Along the way, I also read many other articles explaining solutions to the problem on a wider scale, most of them asserting that we need to start tackling the issue right from high school. This is a picture illustrating how factors at each stage in a girl's life affect her decision to stay in or quit the course. It seems like girls start losing interest in CS in high school. Other organizations researching around this topic also mentioned some interesting things like female students lack relatable role models for inspiration given that many leaders in the field are men. Women are socialized to feel that they can't fail and that they have to achieve perfection, or when their code doesn't run, women often feel discouraged about their own abilities. That there is still a belief that STEM related professions are often impersonal and unsuited for those who wish to make a difference on a human level. I decided to take all of these possible problems and test them in the university environment. So I created a survey with 9 questions about the experiences of females in the introductory level programming class, CSE 142. The survey was aimed at only females intending to major in computer science. Most of these women were in high school before coming to college, with the exception of 1 or 2 of them being transfer students. A few also mentioned that they took a gap year. I also interviewed my TA and head TA for our course, which helped me get deeper insights to how females in the major actually felt and what were the core reasons affecting women's growth in the major in the University of Washington. For the survey, the responses were pretty interesting. A lot of responses on the survey about why these girls think that CS is still a male-dominated field, focused on the stereotype mentality of our society. The responses ranged from statements like the society thinks that men are more logical than women, and since it's still a male-dominated field, it intimidates women. Some are also of the opinion that this gender gap is due to the fact that women are social beings who do not like to sit in one place staring at their computer screens. One of the participants said these kids are also told that boys do better in STEM and girls do better in liberal arts at an early age, so it's easier for girls to question their ability in STEM fields. In addition to the stereotype and discrimination from those around them, they normally face more obstruction. Some say that the exposure boys get to computer-related things like video games allows them to develop an interest in the field at an early age and also in larger volumes compared to girls. Apart from that, when these participants were asked if the introductory level CS courses had helped to increase their confidence about their ability to succeed in the field, 90% of them said that it didn't help or that it had no effect on their confidence level, which has remained constant. And this makes me question the fact that these courses are meant to be a gateway to the major and are meant to encourage people to apply to the major. Then why are they intimidating these women instead of helping them build some confidence? I also came across answers that said that these classes motivated them to continue in the field, but these were outnumbered by the previous category. So, what is it that these courses are lacking? Or maybe a more appropriate question would be, what can we do to help these women be more confident in their abilities? When I started going into this research, I found out how involved UW is in inspiring women to take up CS, and I found out that University of Washington is widely known for its efforts in bridging this gender gap. I even read a 2015 article called How to Interest Girls in Computer Science and Engineering, Shift the Stereotypes by Deborah Bach on the UW News website, and the statistical analysis was something like this. The number of females intending to major in CS and those getting undergraduate degrees in the major were both a lot less than the number of men. The University of Washington's computer science program granted 30% of its undergraduate degrees in 2015 to women, a mark that earned it recognition from the National Center for Women in Information Technology. This was higher than the national average of about 25%, but still lower than the 35% of the bachelor degrees in the major awarded to women in 1984. UW computer science professor Ed Lazowska said in an article that although our 30% leaves us with a long way to go, we've worked really hard over many years and I'm truly thrilled to have it recognized. Clearly, there is still room for improvement. So, after analyzing the survey responses I had collected so far, I found something slightly contrary to what other sources I had consulted were claiming. One was to start introducing girls to coding at an early age, and the other was to encourage girls to take introductory level computer science classes in college. My data was suggesting that even girls with prior programming experience and a good level of confidence were starting to feel incompetent and intimidated in the course and uninterested in pursuing the major further after taking the CSE 142 course. We certainly cannot go back in time to ensure these girls start coding at least in high school, but we can definitely do something about their experience with programming in college. This is not to say that the course isn't structured well, but the responses in the survey does give rise to concern, and I wonder if we can help to make these classes less intimidating. I think one of the things we can do is to help do a better job of spreading more awareness to the women in the class about the weekly seminars, group meetings, or events that are held on campus, which are focused on inspiring women in CS to stay motivated and highlighting the achievements of so many women in CS that serve as a role model by sharing their personal experiences with each other and by supporting each other. I did not know a lot of these groups until I got into my research, and I certainly would have loved to be a part of them, only if I knew they existed. I believe that professors can make announcements during lecture introducing students to these seminars. We can even have an event in the beginning of the freshman year that focuses only on introducing women to these organizations. I believe that listening to stories of other successful women in CS and getting to know their struggle can help reduce the level of intimidation that female students feel. It will help them feel like they do belong where they are. It can also help them see that biological differences between men and women have nothing to do with their success in the field. These women sound passionate about coding and computer science, and I believe that all they need to feel right now is that they're capable, to realize that grades don't define their abilities, to stop comparing themselves with other more experienced colleagues in class, and to focus on improving their skills and doing what they love to do: code.